Jaimunji here, and welcome back to Tier List Tuesdays. We are back with one of my first loves of the metal genre, Killswitch Engage. I was going to do this as the first one, but I actually wanted to sit back down and listen to all the albums first. Now that that's been done, I think I'm ready to put them in order. Maybe. I don't know. I always get a little worried when I do this because my opinions are a lot different to a lot of you guys. But let's see if we can agree today. Let's get to it. Alright, Brew Crew, let's jump straight into this one. No time like the present. Now, we're starting with self-titled. I'm going to admit, I don't go back to this a lot. It was great, very raw for its time. It was kind of the awakening of everything that was to come. But it does kind of feel like the band's first EP, kind of, demo tracks, which it really essentially was. But it did lay the groundwork, so I'm going to be a little bit mean to this one. And I am going to sit it in the C category. I think this was the start of something great. Something that they evolved into very, very quickly, mind you, after this. I say the same thing about Trivium. Ember to Inferno doesn't do a lot for me. Fear Factory, Soul New Machine, if they re-recorded it, probably would. But it's that rawness on it that just does it for me. But it's still a good album, but it's just not... I don't go back to it. And I think that's an important thing when you're ranking tier lists, especially on bands you listen to regularly, how often you go back to these albums. So that's something to keep in mind as we go through. Now, I kind of sped through that one to get on to, the big ones. Alive or Just Breathing. Now, this album, guys, girls, everyone watching this, Metalcore wouldn't be where it is if this album never came out. It's just kind of set the tone. It was different. It was exciting. People gravitated towards it. That's not the word I wanted to say, but we got there anyway. Numbered Days, opening with that. Self-Revolution. Fixation on Darkness, I think, is an underappreciated classic. My Last Serenade, of course. Many people's first time ever hearing Killswitch Engage was that song. I'm a big fan of The Element of One. I really think that's an underrated song. I think it is brilliant. Whether Howard or Jesse sing it, it is fantastic. I could go on, but... we're jumping into it early, guys. Solid S tier right out the gate. It kind of changed what a lot of bands were doing. A lot of these bands that were kind of in the new metal scene were like, ooh, that's the next big thing over there. So Killswitch, got to give it to them. Got to give it an S tier. Alive or Just Breathing. Sorry, I always scroll the screen. Did I fix it? I fixed it well enough. That'll do. But yeah, we're plowing through these a little bit today because, I don't want to keep you here for too long. There's a million of these videos out on the internet, and I kind of just want to give you my opinion. But in saying that, even though that was the first one, and My Last Serenade was not the first Killswitch song I heard. I got to that one later. My band covered it. It was the first Killswitch song we ever covered. I think I've done 5 different Killswitch songs over 3 different bands. Just something we always went back to. But this one for me, The End of Heartache. I think a lot of people got into this album. It was featured on the Resident Evil soundtrack, the actual song The End of Heartache, even though it was like the clean version where most of the screams were kind of erased. That was a weird thing in the 2000s. I've gone back and there's versions of Trivium songs, Bullet for My Valentine songs, where they cut out 80% of the screaming. I don't know what that was about. Whose idea was that? And I'm glad they stopped it at the end of the day, but it was a moment in time. It happened. Even Slipknot, My Plate, had less screaming in it. But this album, man, every goddamn track is amazing. And if you're wondering, the very first song, and I'm going to take you guys back to a younger Jaimunji. I was, and this is for the Australians out there, I was on Channel V, and they had like it wasn't metal on V, but they were doing some things where they must have had like it was hard rock, and they had some heavy metal on there, well, metalcore. And this came on, Rose of Sharon. That was my first introduction to hearing something that had screaming in it that I enjoyed. The very first time I ever heard screaming in music was an Atreyu song, and I was like, oh, I hate it. I love Atreyu, by the way, but I hated it when I first heard it. And then I stumbled across this, boom, Rose of Sharon, Howard's vocals, they were just so deep and rich, and it's like, it won't be long, we'll meet again. Along with the screams was just, I was like, and that music video with the bleeding thorns, I could stay talking about this album for another 10 minutes. I think you guys know where I'm going with this one. But take this oath. When darkness falls, breathe life. Hope Is. Yeah, I was like, Hope Is on this album, isn't it? Hope Is. Everything on this album was just fire. So it's S tier, and I like it more than Alive or Just Breathing. Blasphemy, I know. But I think a lot of people, when they look back on Killswitch, a lot of people, this was their first album, because I've talked to so many people who didn't realize Jesse was the original singer. I guess because not a lot of people listen to the self-titled album, and Alive or Just Breathing, maybe they just got it out of order, and a lot of people think Howard was the original singer, but he wasn't. It was Jesse, then Howard, then back to Jesse, which doesn't always happen in bands, but it worked for them. It really did. But I have to put it up there in S tier. Absolutely have to put it up there in S tier. And now, Killswitch, you guys were just knocking it out of the park as Daylight Dies. Now, the special version of this, the deluxe edition of this had This Fire, the CM Punk entrance song that everyone knows. And they play live now, which is awesome. And also their cover of Holy Diver. So I am going to go off the special editions of these albums as well. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just go for the generic. But this is Absolution. Love that track. Arms of Sorrow, one of my favorite. My Curse, which I think is their biggest song. I don't know. On Spotify, it reckons it's got 277 million streams at the time of this recording. Yeah, I'm going to say it might be their biggest song. For You, Eye of the Storm, Break the Silence. It is. I don't think track by track it's as good as Alive or Just Breathing or The End of Heartache, but its strong songs are certainly very, very strong. Reject Yourself. Ooh, actually, I really like that song. Ooh. And if we do, screw it. B1, This Fire, Holy Diver on the deluxe edition. Yeah, I've counted deluxe editions in the past, so I might as well do it today. We'll go A tier. I might move it. Around before the end, because I kind of make a rule to myself that I've got a limit. If they've got under 10 albums, I can't put more than 3 in S tier. I have to think about it. If they've got over 10 albums, I can be a bit more lenient, maybe 5. But yeah, they're sitting under 10. So we'll sit it in A. We might come back to that one and move it around, but for now, we'll sit it in A. And now we are moving on to self-titled number 2. Another one called Killswitch Engage. Oh, this was unfortunate. This album just didn't do anything for me. I remember when it came out being really excited for it, because it was 2009. You know, I was, 20? Yeah, 20 at the time. Jeez, I just gave away my age. Whoops. 20 at the time. I liked a couple of tracks off it. I thought it was pretty average, though. Starting Over, I still like that song, and that still kind of hits the playlist. Very, very poppy and light for what I wanted. Reckoning was a good song. A Light in a Darkened World was fun. Save Me was okay. But I'm obviously not talking about it real fondly. And right after this, Howard was kicked out of the band. Now, that's not what a lot of people know. Howard was asked to leave. He wasn't looking after his health. They said, you've got to go sort yourself. You're not paying attention to your body. So it was all love, but it wasn't he quit. He was asked to leave. And at least that's what I've been told by the band members. So, yeah, I think Killswitch, the self-titled one, is going to sit with this Killswitch one at a C. You know what? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it might even be a D. Because like I said, I really like Start Again, or Starting Over, whatever it's called. Starting Over. And the Reckoning's okay, but the rest kind of fall off. Saves Me is alright, but I don't know. There was just no gusto. There was no to this album, which every other Killswitch album, personally, I think, has. So, yeah, lack of you're going down D tier. But I do like a couple of songs off it. Alright, the special edition just had live tracks. They were fun. But let's move on to Disarm the Descent. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen, where Jesse comes back. And what an album to come back to. This album I had on repeat, the special edition too, because it was cool to hear his live cover of My Curse, where Adam D's vocals towards the end get a bit super death metal-y and stupid, which is what I love Adam D for. I gotta say, without Adam D, I don't know if Killswitch would have the same punch for me, because his cleans really kind of break it up. He's got an interesting voice. I really like Adam D's voice, and songwriter, dude. He's the godfather of metalcore. If you liked a 2000 metalcore band, All That Remains, Parkway Drive, all them, he produced all those albums, man. So he does not get the credit I think he deserves, because he doesn't gloat about it at the end of the day. But he's a funny bastard. I love this album. Beyond the Flame was great. In Due Time, the first single. Oh, I remember being obsessed with that when it came out. Always. Beautiful song. The Call, Turning Point, A Tribute to the Fallen, The Hell in Me. Like I said, I'm going to be a bit picky with what I put in S and A tier until we get to the end. It's definitely an A. It's definitely an A. I think it's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant album. I love it. I love it. And it might go up to S tier. These two might fight because I probably will end up putting one of them in S tier. Just don't know which one yet. So we'll think about it. And what was after that one? Incarnate. Now, this one was one of the ones I had to sit down and listen to because I was like, yeah, I remember that album, but I can't remember a lot. Hate by Design, I've always got in the playlist when I've got a Killswitch playlist like 20 songs, and Hate by Design stands in there. But the rest of it, Strength of the Mind was okay. We Carry On was there. Triumph Through Tragedy, I can't even remember now that I only listened to it earlier today. Yeah, Cut Me Loose was alright. Yeah, I think they caught lightning in the bottle with Disarm the Descent, and then this one was okay. Like I said, the singles were pretty decent. I'm sorry I keep scrolling, moving the thing. It's an ADHD thing. There we go. We'll put it back there. Yeah, but I was gonna go. Oh, maybe it will be my first B. No, I think it's a C. I think I listen to more songs off this than I do the Killswitch album, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to think it. Hate by Design is a better song than any of the songs on Killswitch Engage, either of them. So, yeah, C. Alone I Stand was alright too. It's a C, but just definitely not get moved up to B territory. But here we go. Atonement. This was a good album. I remember I just met my wife Alison, who you see on the channel every now and then this year. I started working my first ever call center job. Jesus, that's a slog. People go, you work from home. I was like, yeah, but I don't stop talking. And then I come online and I talk some more. I didn't have the YouTube channel back then, though. Wish I did. Going back to this one, this is a good album. This is actually a really good album. Unleash, good song. Good opener. Different. It's a bit more thumping than it is fast, but the Signal Fire. Signal Fire, top 5 Killswitch song. And it blended both of them. Now, it wasn't the first song to feature both Jesse and Howard. That belongs to... Take This Oath had Jesse and Howard on the same song. I don't know how that one came together. I probably should have looked that up before doing it. But this was the first time they really promoted. They did the music video, everything. The way Howard was just kind of sitting on the amp and he comes in the frame. That alone, The Crownless King with Chuck Billy, great. As Sure as the Sun Will Rise. I personally love that song because Adam D's vocals in that are great. Ravenous is good. I Can't Be the Only One is good. I Am Broken 2 is good. Solid. I think this is a solid A. I think this is an A. Not as good as Disarm the Descent, though the Signal Fire I think trumps it. But it's a solid A. I'm happy with that. Which makes me go, shit, I haven't put anything in B category because, like I said, I go back and listen to the albums, but I don't actually re-rank them, if you will. But the fact that I don't have anything in B is a little worrying. But because we're up to the brand new album, This Consequence, which I had a couple of months in advance. So I've been listening to this since late last year. Didn't tell any of you guys that. But this was great. I really did enjoy this album. It didn't have like a song like I Am Broken 2 or Always. It didn't have the Heartbreaker on it. It was a heavy album. It's a good album. Abandon Us, Opening the Gates was just awesome. Not the song Opening the Gates, there isn't one. Abandon Us, Forever Aligned, great. I Believe, catchy. Those are the main three I'd probably go back to the most. Broken Glass is alright, heavy song, short. But yeah, not as good as Atonement. So it's almost like if they release a Surefire album, the next one's not quite as good. But I will say, when it comes to the follow-ups, besides As Daylight Dies, this is the next best follow. If you got End of Heartache going into As Daylight Dies, now I'm not counting Alive or Just Breathing because they changed singer. Obviously, that's going to make a difference. Going from Atonement into this, very good. But I haven't got anything in the B category. I love the artwork on this, though. Maybe my favourite artwork besides End of Heartache. End of Heartache's so 2000s metalcore. But I really like the This Consequence artwork. It's a solid B. It's probably only one track off putting it into an A. I would have liked something like Always on there. Maybe that would have made the difference. Or an End of Heartache, you kind of like a big kind of like emotional one. But it just didn't have it. But here we go. All right, now we're looking at the order. Now, I did say I was going to reassess some of them. Maybe I should just keep it special and leave those two up S tier. As much as I want to put... I will say, Atonement wouldn't go into the category of an S tier. I'm not weighing that one up. It's staying in A. Disarm the Descent, it is very, very good. In Due Time's the best song on it. Maybe Always is. That song doesn't stand out as much as Mike Hurst now, does it? So, no, I can't say that. So, let's go to As Daylight Dies. Do I want to put that in S tier? As Daylight Dies, good song. This is Absolution, good song. The Arms of Sorrow, one of my favourites. Unbroken, good song. Mike Hurst, excellent song. Excellent song. Slightly overrated though. Don't kill me. I do think it's slightly overrated. I still think it's a top 5, maybe top 10 song of Killswitch, but End of Heartache's my go-to, or Rose of Sharon. Project Yourself. Yeah, Eye of the Storm. Still Beat Your Name. You know what? No. Let's go with A+. I think it's an A+. I don't think it's not good enough. I shouldn't say that. That sounds so horrible. It just doesn't reach the heights of End of Heartache or Alive or Just Breathing. That's Howard's baby. That's Jesse's baby. It's weird that Howard only did 3 albums, man. It kind of felt like he was in that band forever. Though when you're young and you get into a band for the first time, it just kind of feels like they're there forever. But no, I'm happy with that. I can leave that. I can put my stamp of approval on and say, yep, that's a good looking list. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep the Killswitch Engage down in D. Yeah, I just felt like they put out a record for the sake of putting out a record. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I'm happy with that. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. I wonder if you agree with me on that one. Now, this is just coming from a guy who has been listening to these albums for years, since high school. I'm not going to give away that year. So I really, really enjoy Killswitch. Still do to this day. One of the few bands I listened to from back in my high school era that I still listen to, because that's a big thing too. I love so many bands. Like Metallica, I don't put them on as much as I used to. Devil Driver, don't put them on as much as I used to. But Killswitch is still in rotation. I still get excited when a brand new album comes out. So still the test of time for me, man. I'm very happy about it. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Every Tuesday will be Tier List Tuesday. Now, I have not recorded any more in advance from these 3. So suggest down below what you'd like me to try and cover next. I've got some things in mind. Don't get me wrong. I've got like 30, 40 in mind. I was thinking about Children of Bodom possibly next. I was even thinking about maybe doing one of my old high school loves, Guns N' Roses, next. But if you guys got something you want me to cover first, get in quick because I'll be recording on the weekend. But until then, hit that subscribe button so you get notified. I'm trying to hit 15k by the end of the year. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. If I don't, I don't. If I do, yahoo. Celebration for New Year's for me. But until next time, I've been Jaimunji, and you'll have a bloody good one.